Hey everyone, welcome back to Swishboard YouTube channel, where we deep dive into the stories shaping our world. Imagine this, a single butterfly flaps its wings in Brazil and halfway around the globe a tornado touches down in Texas. That's the butterfly effect. Tiny changes sparking massive unpredictable chaos. Now apply that to our planet. A degree or two warmer. It doesn't sound like much, but it's unleashing a ripple effect of climate change that's already rewriting our weather, economies, societies, and futures. Today we're unpacking it all, from the first whispers of environmental shift to the human heartbreak and the hopeful reinventions ahead. Stick around, this isn't just doom and gloom, it's a call to wake up and act. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a video like this. Let's jump in. The butterfly effect, climate's opening act. Picture the Arctic, vast frozen playground for polar bears, right? Wrong. It's melting faster than you think. And it's melting faster than you can say ice cream headache. We're talking Arctic Sea, ice shrinking by 12.2% every single day since the 1980s. In 2025, it hit a record low maximum extent, just 5.53 million square kilometers on March 22nd. That's the smallest it's been in nearly 50 years of satellite tracking. That's like losing an area the size of California every few years. Why does this matter? Less ice means less sunlight reflected back into space. More heat gets trapped, speeding up the whole warming cycle. It's like your AC is breaking down in the summer. Things are gonna get hotter and faster. And those stronger storms, oh boy, warmer oceans are like jet fuel for hurricanes. In 2024, climate change cranked up the intensity of most Atlantic hurricanes by making them rain harder and wind fiercer. Fast forward to 2025, they're calling above normal season highs with 13 to 19 named storms, 6 to 10 becoming full-blown hurricanes. Remember Hurricane Helene last year? It dumped feet of rain on the southeast US, killing dozens and racking up billions in damage. These aren't freak events anymore. They're the new normal, I should say. Storms pack more punch because warmer air holds more moisture, turning sprinkle into deluge. But it's not just about wild weather. Let's go beyond the headlines to see how these shifts are throwing entire ecosystems off balance. Take oceans currents, those invisible rivers in the sea that keep our climate steady. The Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC, is like the planet's global conveyor belt, shutting warm water north and cold water south. It's weakening under climate stress, slowed by about 50% since the mid-1900s. Recent studies say it will keep declining but won't fully collapse anytime soon. Thank goodness. Yet, even a modest slowdown could chill Europe's winters and mess with the rain patterns in Africa and the Americas. Imagine your fridge on fritz. Food spoils, temperatures swing wild. That's our oceans right now. Then there's biodiversity hotspots. Those super rich zones like the coral reefs and the rainforest teeming with life. Coral reefs, you may ask. They're bleaching white from heat stress, like a bad sunburn that doesn't fade. The fourth global mass bleaching event is underway, hitting at least 30% of the UNESCO's World Heritage listed reefs. By 2030, if we blow past 1.5 degrees warming, up to 90% could be gone. These reefs aren't just pretty, they protect coastlines from storms, support a quarter of ocean life, and feed millions. Lose them and fish stocks crash, tourism tanks, and entire food webs unravel. Let's move on to the next chapter. Dominoes falling, interconnected systems under strain. Alright, let's talk food. Your grocery cart, full of fresh veggies, grains, and that morning coffee, relies on a delicate balance, but extreme weather is smashing it. In 2025, droughts in the US, Midwest, and floods in South Asia have already slashed crop yields. The USDA says climate disruptions could cut global wheat production by up to 7% in bad years, hitting staples like corn, soy hardest. Farmers face heat stress on workers too. Think picking tomatoes in 110 Fahrenheit scorches, risking heat stroke and supply chains. They're global dominoes. Take the Panama Canal, a drought linked to El Nino and climate shifts slashed water levels, cutting ship transits by 30% from 2024 to 2020 from 2022 to 2024 peaks. By mid-2025, daily passages dropped to 22 to 24 ships, bottlenecking grain and fuel exports. Food prices spiked 10% worldwide last year. Imagine paying double for bread because a canal ran dry halfway around the world. Now, water wars. Sounds like a sci-fi flick, but it's our reality. Nearly 2 billion people, that's 1 in 4 of us, live in water-stressed areas, and it's stuck at 18% globally since 2015. 1 in 10 faces critically low supplies. Climate amps this up. Less rain, more evaporation, rivers shrinking. Look at the now. Lifeline for 300 million in 11 countries. Ethiopia's Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is filling up, sparking fury from downstream Egypt and Sudan, who fear blackouts and crop failures in 2025. Tensions boiled over as Ethiopia nears inauguration, rejected border Nile basin talks. Egypt calls it an existential threat. Similar fights brew over the Mekong in Asia, in Colorado River in US, neighbor eyeing the same drop. Without deals, we're talking conflicts, not just arguments. And infrastructure, our grids, roads, cities, they're built for yesterday's weather, not tomorrow's fury heat waves. In 2025 hammered Europe, jacking up power demand by 14% and straining grids from Texas to Tokyo. In China and the US, blackouts rolled out during peaks, costing billions. Floods wash out rails. Remember Europe's 2024 deluge. Urban spots like Mumbai grind to a halt in monsoons turned mega by 2050. Trillions in upgrades needed, or watch bridges crumble and light flickers out. Economic earthquakes shifting markets and industries. Boom, or should I say crash. Climate-fueled disasters aren't just tragic, they're trillion-dollar headaches. In 2024, they rang up $318 billion in global economic losses. Wildfires in California, floods in Germany, you name it. Fast forward to 2025, Swiss repredicts $150 billion in insured losses alone, up 6% from last year. Hurricanes, storms, the works. First half of 2025 already hit $135 billion, topping 2024's pace. Nations bleed cash on recovery, skimping on schools or healthcare. Small islands countries, they're wiped out. GDP tanking 10 to 20% per event. Supply chains feel the quake hardest. Climate snarls trade like a bad knot. World Trade Organization says global merchandise trade might fade out 0.9% growth in 2025, but tariffs and weather woes could drag it negative. Droughts hit semiconductors in Taiwan. Storms delay ships from Asia. Result? Inflation bites. Prices up 5 to 7% on everything from phones to produce. Businesses reroute around Panama, burning extra fuel and time. It's a vicious loop. More emissions, more disruptions. But every earthquake births new ground. Enter investment and innovation. Green tech is booming. 3.3 trillion poured into energy worldwide in 2025. The solar snagging $450 billion alone. That's more than oil and gas combined. Wind farms of Denmark, EV batteries in Australia, renewables now cheaper than fossils in 80% of the world. Carbon capture pilots in Iceland suck CO2 underground. Green hydrogen powers steel mills in Europe. Jobs, millions shifting from coal mines to solar panels. Though retraining's key. Sunset industries, coals fading, 30% of plants closing by 2030. Oil giants pivot or perish. It's painful, but it's progress. Imagine a world where clean energy pays the bills and saves the planet. The human toll, society on the brink. This is where it hits home. The faces behind the stats. Mass migration, climate's forcing folks from homes like never before. End of 2024 saw 123.2 million forcibly displaced worldwide. Persecution, war, but climate's share. 30 million in 2024 alone from floods and droughts. By 2050, up to 1.2 billion could be climate refugees, per experts. Central America's dry corridor farmers fleeing parched fields to US borders, sub-Saharan herders crossing into Europe, geopolitics tense, India's fencing borders against Bangladeshi flood refugees, Syria's drought-fueled its civil war, and instability brews when millions knock on locked doors. Health is crumbling. Warmer worlds spread disease like wildfire. World Health Organization says climate could add 100,000 deaths yearly by 2050 from malaria, diarrhea, and heat alone. Mosquitoes march north, and cases are up 20% in the US and Europe from dengue. 2025 heat waves in India killed thousands. Wildfires choke lungs in Canada, and many more diseases and problems have occurred during this increase in temperatures. And inequality is the cruelest ripple. Vulnerable groups, poor folks, women, indigenous communities get slammed hardest. 4 out of 5 displaced by disasters are women and girls facing violence and trafficking and chaos. By 2050, climate could shove 158 million more women into poverty, 16 million extra versus men. In Pacific Islands, women fetch water miles further. In India, Dali farmers lose lands first. Rich nations emit most, poor burn out. Bear brunt as injustice baked in. Resilience, reinvention, a future forged by change. But here's the spark. We're not helpless. Adaptation, mitigation, game changers. Communities worldwide are innovating like crazy. In Indonesia, villagers replant mangroves, natural storm barriers that also store carbon. Kenya's farmers use agroforestry. Trees shade crops, soil holds water better. Tech, AI predicts floods for early evacuations. Drones map drought-hit fields for targeted aid. Floating farms in Bangladesh grow rice on water. Singapore's vertical gardens feed cities without spoiling fields. 2025 saw AI bee monitors boost pollination in California orchards, fighting crop losses. These aren't sci-fi, they're saving lives now. Policy is stepping up too. International agreements like the Paris Accord, they're evolving. All countries must submit bolder nationality determined contributions aiming to slash emissions. The UN's pushing adaptation reports tracking progress on vulnerable spots. EU's carbon border tax hits polluters. Brazil's global Montreal rallies global action. Governments respond. US infrastructure bills fund resilient grids. China's solar push leads the world. Collective action works when we align. And yourself, you can help too. Individual empowerment is huge. Small actions ripple out. Ditch single-use plastics. Oceans thank you. Bike or carpool cuts your emissions by 20%. Go plant-based a few days a week. Oxford studies say it slashes your footprint by a fifth. Vote for green policies. Join cleanups, local cleanups. Youth strikes turn into global movements. Your voice counts collectively. We tip the scales. One less flight, one more tree, it adds up to hope. Conclusion. We've unpacked the ripples, from melting caps to migrant trails. Economics shakes to empowered futures. Climate change isn't a distant storm, it's here, demanding we adapt or break, but we can choose reinvention. What's your first step? Drop it in the comments. Let's build this together. If this hit home, like, share, and subscribe for more real talk on our world. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Stay curious, stay hopeful.